Hey everyone, Danielle here. Thank you so much for watching Danielle Knows It All. This is my newest episode and today we are talking about how to view your career path in order to have success. Now, I have officially decided to call this Danielle Knows It All just because I feel like I do have quite a bit of information from my life experiences as a model and an actress. I have over 15 years as a model and a little bit over 6 years as an actress. I am now living in LA as a working actress, and I am navigating my way through all of it one day at a time, and I've had a lot of failures and I've had a lot of successes. So I want to talk about something, and that is how we view our careers and our outlook to have more success. I was recently inspired. I'm in a group on Facebook, and this is a big resource actually to sidebar about. If you're an actor and you're not sure how to, or you're new to the industry and you're not sure how to get work or where to start, there's a lot of really wonderful groups on Facebook that you can join where industry professionals talk about the ins and outs and answer questions. There's so many resources. Do your research. It's a big, huge thing. I've talked about it before. Today, what we're talking about is this. Now, so many people think because they've put in this set amount of time as a performer that they should always be held at a certain standard in the industry in terms of like getting paid or your time commitment or this and that. And it's all that all has value and that all is true. But I'm referencing as a non-union actor and model. I'm not in the union. I don't have the same rights yet. I'm eligible. I'm not joining until I absolutely have to. But I don't have the same rights as a union actor performer does. So I'm referencing this as a experienced non-union actress and a model just working in the industry. So I was inspired when I saw a post the other day about a gentleman who was taking his son to auditions and gigs and complaining about how he feels he shouldn't have to drive a certain distance for this amount of money and just complaining. And you know, it's as a performer, you need to be open to every opportunity in this industry because we never know what we're going to get. You don't know when you're going to get it. You don't know where it's going to be. You hope that it's in your city. If you're not in a major city, you are going to have to travel for it. I lived in Chicago, and when I was there, I was working in Milwaukee and Madison and Indianapolis and Chicago and 5 hours south in southern Illinois. Sometimes I was driving to Kentucky. So I was, flexing all the areas that I could to try and stay afloat and have a steady working career. Here in LA, you have to drive a lot. And though it still might be in the LA proper area, you might have to drive and sit in traffic for an hour to hour and a half to just go to an audition for 5 minutes. That is just the nature of the business. Same goes for pay. We can't really dictate how much we get paid until we get to a point where we're getting requests constantly. If you have an agent who's submitting you for stuff and booking you for stuff, congratulations, that's wonderful. Discuss with them what things you're willing to do, what rate you're willing to do them for, what you're willing to travel for. Those all should be established up front before they're even submitting you for auditions, because you don't want to drive across town for an audition and find out that you have to go all the way down to San Diego at your own cost. Because it does happen from time to time. If you say, oh, I'm willing to work locally to this area, and then you get the job and you realize, oh crap, I'm going to have to spend money out of pocket, but you're already booked, it makes everybody look really bad if you back out. So just know that you need to have those standards set. You need to have the realistic grasp of what will happen if you get booked out of town as talent. Things change. It does become expensive, especially if you're paying up front and maybe they're reimbursing you for travel or per diem, but you're having to pay out of pocket. That's a really big aspect that people don't consider whenever they say they can work something out of town. I recently, I model and act full time, and I occasionally do trade shows. And I did one in San Diego about a month ago, and they did not pay me that quickly, but I did have to pay out of pocket for my Airbnb because I said I would work locally. It was a great rate. It was a company I've worked for a bunch, and I knew they paid pretty fast. And I had to shell out the money for the Airbnb, and thankfully I had credits, and it really didn't cost me that much, but I did have to spend money on food and gas and parking every single day, and that stuff adds up. And then you think about all the other things that you have to pay for, like gas and parking and all your normal expenses as an actor throughout the month. If you're spending the extra money to stay somewhere and you're not getting reimbursed right away, that can actually affect your income quite a bit and put you in a tight spot if you're not smart about it. So where I'm getting at here is that you really need to be realistic. If you want to be successful in this industry, you do obviously have to set boundaries and standards for yourself, but know this, there are 100,000 other people willing to do the job that you're not willing to do if you think that you were too big for something. If you think that this rate is too low for a job and you don't want to do it because you feel like you have to just do so much just to do it, well, I'm sorry, this industry may not be for you. There is a certain point where, yes, I don't want to work a whole day for $100. I just don't. It doesn't help me in any way if I commit to something that I'm only getting $100 for, and then I have to admit, possibly miss an audition or pass on other gigs because that were maybe larger. I would be upset because that $100 all day thing, though I'm grateful to be selected for it, is just not necessarily something that I want to be doing after being in this industry for a long time. So there's that. $100 is not very much. You could do that working anywhere, but it is money and it's somebody wanting to book you. So you just have to be realistic. Don't accept something if it's lower than what you want to work for, but just know that someone else is going to get that job. I don't want to say that you should work for a little bit of money or for less than what you're worth or for less than what you should be getting paid. But I will say this. Sometimes you might get hired on for a small, low-budget project with a team that they just had a crap budget for it and they needed really quality talent. Okay, sure, great. You don't know where that opportunity is going to lead. If that team liked you or someone from the production or the client liked you and they get a bigger budget, they might keep hiring you and you might start getting more money. I've had that happen to me on more occasions than I can actually talk about, and it has helped my career in so many ways just by dropping my ego and realizing that sometimes if you just look at the situation and say, maybe there is more value here than the actual monetary value, and this could actually help my career. Not always going to happen, but sometimes you just have to get off your high horse and realize that if you want to be a working actor or model, that sometimes you have to just make a smart decision to better your career path. Not always going to be the best one, but most times if you were smart about it and you do research and you analyze the situation and assess it, you never know what's going to happen. So really, that is what I have to say today. So many people have big egos. I from time to time have to check myself. I know that I won't work for a certain amount on most days, but sometimes if somebody hits me up and I'm not doing anything and it's with somebody I know, or I know the project's going to lead to something else, there's so many possibilities for yourself in this career, in this industry, that if you set such lofty limits and goals ahead of yourself that aren't realistic, you're going to be stunting your actual growth and progression as talent. There's always somebody more willing to do the work. So be realistic. You want to work? Have a good attitude, have a great outlook, and just keep on hustling every day. You're going to have days where you are so down in the dumps, and then you get an email from somebody saying, hey, we want to book you. It changes like that. And then you're going to have a day where you're running around from an audition to a callback straight to set. Happens. Feels great. And then there might be a week or two where you're doing nothing. Maybe you're doing self-tapes at home. Maybe you're doing events or walking dogs or whatever it takes to just make extra money, fill the time. But just know that it's an up and down. It's never a consistent path until you reach the top. And even if you reach the top, it's not consistent. look at some of these actors and their struggles mentally. It is hard. This is a industry where we are constantly seeking approval and recognition, and we don't always get it. And if we're not doing something that's being noticed, then we feel inadequate. So having a good head on your shoulders and just checking in every single day with yourself and knowing where and when you should be doing the things that you're doing, I think you're just set up for success that way. That's all I have to say. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment below. I'd love to chat more further about this. I have another video I'm going to segue off into this, and I hope that you check it out. Thanks so much. Bye.